Good afternoon. I hope everyone is enjoying this this great day in Texas, and thank you for being here today. I know we've got a little bit of a crowded room, but that's because there's a lot of people passionate about this issue, and it's appropriate that you would be here today as we put pen to paper to strike a blow against a very serious set of circumstances that we face in this state. It occurs in secret all across our state and our nation, and I'd like to first start by thanking the author. Randy, thank you for the work that you did on this. He's although a relatively new member of the legislature, a very impactful one, carrying legislation that has this impact. He is truly a champion for those invisible victims who are impacted by this illegal trafficking, and we're fortunate to have him leading the charge. And also there are supporters from community organizations, from universities, from state agencies, all of whom are working to peel back this evil veil of secrecy of the scourge of human trafficking. And, our goal is ultimately to wipe it out. Human trafficking is a serious problem, and this legislation sends a message to those who would profit from exploiting others in this fashion. The message is Texas won't stand for it. Through our state's border security efforts, we've invested more than $100 million in each of the last 2 legislative sessions, and we have put a dent in the illegal border crossings, and we've reduced the incidence of smuggling. But our grasp of the size of human trafficking is still a bit hazy. We know that some 20% of our country's trafficking victims pass through our state every year. We can cite State Department statistics that every year between 14,500 and 17,500 people are victims of trafficking in our country. The fact that we have this range of numbers is evident of the problem with being able to identify as well as we should be able to this problem. The task force that Randy's legislation is going to create will go a long way towards bringing the realities of this abhorrent practice into very sharp focus, helping us turn the tide against a crime that primarily targets women and children. Under the skilled leadership of our Attorney General, Greg Abbott, I'm confident that this task force, with its balanced mix of law enforcement and advocacy groups and state agencies, will have a very positive impact and will leave no stone unturned in rooting out this problem. By providing training to law enforcement, this bill will equip the men and women in uniform who protect our citizens with the knowledge to better protect the victims of trafficking. By protecting the victims of trafficking from prosecution for their offenses committed under duress, this bill will make it easier for them to step forward, to share with the world what's really happening out there. It will help our authorities to finally wipe out this plague. I'm proud to sign this legislation as a way to continue the good work of the people in this room, to bring this problem into the public's eye. It's important for Texans and our citizens of our country to better understand what is going on, and today is one of those ways to reflect that to the citizens of our state and this country. So I'd also like to ask Randy just to share a few thoughts, if he would, about the legislation and on the issue. Randy, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Everyone who runs for office does so in the ultimate hope that they'll make a difference. And I know that when I ran for office, that was actually my goal, to be able to get in and make a difference, not just for my district, which I'm extremely proud of, but also for Texas and those that are in Texas. In the very first legislative session I ever was privileged to be a part of, the 81st legislature, I got to pass House Bill 4009. Would not have been able to do it without all of y'all's support, all of y'all's hard work, and all of y'all's backing, with Senator Leticia Van de Putte on the other side of the House, and we have Adrian Reyna here from her office. The senator unfortunately could not be here because of an emergency, but I want to recognize her and her efforts, her leadership on the Senate side. Without her, this would not have been possible, and my hat's off to her, and I wish her the best in her emergency that she's attending to. We're trying to make a difference, as the governor said, for the victims of human trafficking, and primarily women and children, and domestic victims in the state of Texas. The governor, you've heard so often say that Texas is the bright, shining star in our nation. I wholeheartedly agree with him and appreciate his leadership. We're becoming again the leader, this time in making known the fact that human trafficking will no longer be tolerated in our country. Not in Texas, not here, not now, Governor, not on our watch, not any time. And we're proud of our governor for getting behind us and signing this bill. You know, in a time when human depravity seems to have no limits, it's amazing what some of these perpetrators will descend to. And we're glad to be able to draw attention to this, to have our Youth and Human Services Commission, Health and Human Services Commission, have this on their website, begin to train and our law enforcement officials to become acclimated to spotting it, identifying it, and helping the victims to assimilate back into a normal lifestyle, if you can get into a normal lifestyle after something like that. It has been a pleasure to work with so many people that are passionate, as the governor said, about this issue. My hat's off to all that were here. Senator Van de Putte, as I said, I wish she could be here because she certainly enjoys in this success. She's a major participant. We're truly dedicated with a number of professionals that have gotten in behind us, rolled their sleeves up, and in many ways been the driving force and the engine, I guess, that's driving the train. I just got to be kind of the guy that put my name on the bill, and we worked through some issues, and it's been an extreme pleasure. I want to thank those who have contributed their time, their counsel, their testimony, and tremendous support. Let me start with Denise Donnelly with the Attorney General's office. She has been just an absolute godsend. We appreciate that. Katrina Lyons from Human Health and Services Commission. We appreciate all the help that we've gotten all across the board. To Dr. Noelle Bush Armendariz, she was here she is. I've gotten to work with so many fine people. Dr. Kim Catrola, who also could not be here because of an emergency. We want to give her accolades as well. Shelton Green with Christian Life Commission. Shelton has been instrumental, came in and sat in my office, and we had quite a few discussions, and just appreciated his help. He's with the Christian Life Commission, and what's your response? Jennifer Michael Solak with Children at Risk, and we appreciate all the help that she gave us. Sergeant Chris Burchell, and we appreciated Chris and the help that he's been able to afford us. To Dennis Mark with Redeemed Ministries. Now, did I see Dennis come in? There you are, Dennis. Appreciate you being here and appreciate your help. Who's part of Redeemed Ministries and the Not For Sale campaign. You came and testified in committee, and I appreciated those cards. I'm not for sale, and you need to keep passing those out, Dennis. To the ACLU of Texas, who got behind us and pushed for this legislation. To the Texas Catholic Conferences, who worked hard on our behalf. And the Catholic Charities Archdiocese, who worked hard on our behalf. And to the Polaris Project in Washington, D.C. And before I forget, there will be a press conference. I know that we'll have questions, Governor, after this. A few in the room, and then we'll be available for questions outside. There is a Polaris Project National Human Trafficking Resource with a 188 number. And for those of you who might be watching, The number is 888-373-7888. If you think you see what might be human trafficking, please call the hotline. If you think you see human trafficking, please call the hotline. I'll have it later for you. There is no way that I can describe all the grassroots efforts that got behind us and pushed for this. We were just thrilled and excited to be a part of it. Texas is a great place to be. We're on the forefront one more time. Slavery, we fought a war with slavery a couple hundred years back, it seems like. We wouldn't stand for it then, we're not going to stand for it now. We are truly blessed to be in Texas. Thank you all for being here.